Good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News here on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. I am Bhavita Gopalchan. Thank you so much for joining us. Top of the news at this time. Opposition leader Penelope Beckles is accusing Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar of being dangerously disconnected from reality after the Prime Minister suggested that incidents of classroom violence should result in students being expelled. Well, this after Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlett revealed on Wednesday that there has been a sharp increase in incidents of violence in the classroom, with a teacher present. In a statement yesterday, Beckles said the Prime Minister's position ignores the deeper social and economic challenges affecting many students and their families, saying many have lost their jobs because of the callous actions of the UNC, placing thousands of parents under immense pressure. Now, while acknowledging that discipline and respect must be maintained in schools, the opposition leader argued that school violence and disruptive behavior rarely exist in isolation and said that expulsion cannot be treated as a primary solution to behavioral problems. And with another state of emergency in effect, one business group believes success in the Southern Division will be measured not only by arrests and indictments, but by how peaceful the community remains after the period ends. Southern Division continues to report moderate crime levels, with police reports showing San Fernando emerging as the main target of criminals. Hotspots include Pleasantville, Embarcadero, Monrepo, while outside the city, Maribel and Gasparillo tend to record shootings, robberies, and firearm offences. Gold Commander of the SOE, Deputy Police Commissioner Suzette Martin, said the division faces murders, robberies, narco-trafficking and stolen vehicles. Apart from the usual police operations, she said community engagement and targeted interventions are critical to curbing crime. Well, Greater San Fernando Area Business Chamber President Kiran Singh said businesses feel safer with police and army patrols.
It would be a measure of success if when the SOE ends and we continued with the same reduced level of crime, and want to see a further reduction of crime and murders, especially going forward, not just during the enactment of the SOE, as what happened in the last incarnation of the SOE that we had in this country.
Singh noted that addressing gangs and engaging youths will ensure longer-term safety for the Southern Division. Meanwhile, residents of Sangre Grande say they are unclear about the goals and overall vision of the latest anti-crime initiative. Even with heightened police patrols, there are calls for the public to meet and speak directly with the authorities whose divisions affect their lives. Well, Shane Superville visited the constituency for this story.
Sangre Grande residents are asking for direct consultations with the authorities as they react to the latest SOE and hope that more can be done to curb crime. The Eastern Township has noted a sharp uptick in the number of murders and woundings before dropping slightly for 2025. However, head of the Eastern Business and Merchants Association, Ricardo Mohammed, told CNC3 News that even with the decline, the fear of crime is real. Mohammed, who has lived and operated his pharmacy in Sangre Grande for most of his life, says he has seen the community change, with the unease gradually increasing. He therefore extended an invitation to Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander to visit Sangre Grande and meet with residents.
I think the minister should come and have a town meeting in Sangre Grande. Let's get our stakeholders together and really see how we can help in the fight in crime. I think the stakeholders, we are concerned. Crime affects our businesses significantly.
Mohammed wasn't the only one seeking a closer collaboration with the authorities, as lifelong Damari Hill resident Indar Nanlal lamented that important decisions like the introduction of an SOE are being done without the input of people who were affected the most.
They need to come down to ground zero and meet with the citizens of the country itself. That is the only way they will get to have a better understanding of what is needed to put things in place in this country.
Nanlal says while he has never been a victim of a crime, he is aware of Damari Hill's reputation as one of the most dangerous communities in Sangre Grande. And even with the introduction of an SOE, he isn't convinced that it will amount to anything worthwhile.
They basically spinning top in mud. They need to implement different things in place in this SOE for it to make a difference in the country.
However, 79-year-old Robinson Circular resident Patrick Nawal is supportive of the SOE. Nawal, who has operated a small hardware store and auto supply business in the front of his home, said he was robbed once, but admits he is unwilling to share information with the police.
I see me see. Don't ask me nothing. Me see nothing. Me see. I see. I watching the Savannah whole day. Let me watch the Savannah. Me and the Savannah is friend. He ain't telling me morning. Me ain't telling him morning. He mind his business. I mind mine. Yeah, truth. I just tell people that. Me and I.
While our camera crew were in Sangre Grande, several police patrols were seen. But even with this heightened presence, the public went about their daily routines as usual, a sign that while the SOE remains in effect, life goes on. Shane Superville, CNC3 News.
And a defence attorney is urging government to table the SSA's 2024 and 2025 reports in Parliament, saying the public deserves to know about any rise in gang violence resulting in national crime prevention measures. Christian Williams tells reporter Jen Sullivan without those reports, the public is left to just trust politicians.
Defence Attorney Christian Williams is calling on the government to lay the 2024 and 2025 Strategic Services Agency report in Parliament so the public can be made aware of the latest information on gang violence. He says if this state of emergency has been called due to purported gang violence, then the opportunity should be made for the public to corroborate the state's narrative.
For both SOEs, that data from the SSA, which will show any issues as to gang violence, terrorism violence, any sort of threat that exists and the nature of that threat, it must exist in that SSA document. So without that document being produced, it's very open to say that, the population may be not accurately informed or reliably informed and just have to take what is happening based upon what politicians say so.
He also says there must be a better response to crime than state of emergencies, and data should be given to support the rearresting of detainees from the previous SOE.
You can't detain persons hoping to find a sustainable solution to crime. So to answer that question, I prefer to wait at the end of this SOE. Let's look at the data from the first SOE, the last SOE. Let's even look at the data under the last PNM administration, and let's see any successful, tangible results in terms of prosecutions. And that's the only way we could properly answer that question.
While acknowledging that threats against police officers are serious, he also says that that risk is part of the job they signed on for and should not form a basis for a state of emergency. Meanwhile, a month after the last state of emergency ended, the staff of the last SOE tribunal are yet to receive their compensation. But retired Major Arden Williams says they acted out of duty.
This is so far has been all about national service. We have not been remunerated, but there have been commitments to do so, and when that time comes, I suppose we'll be all grateful.
He says that there was a rush of applications near the end of the last state of emergency, with most applications seeking to have their detentions overturned. He recalled one case where they recommended that the detainee be released, but that was not done. Homeland Security Minister Roger Alexander has the authority to ignore the tribunal's recommendation. Asked if he thought this should change.
I leave the parliamentarians and the executive to do what they're required to do.
Williams calls on the public to read the regulations so they are aware of their rights and wish the new tribunal, whoever they may be, the best. Jensen Levend, CNC3 News.
And the Congress of the People is in support of government's declaration of another state of emergency, saying the measure allows broader crime reduction strategies to take root while protecting law-abiding citizens. In a media release today, the party said crime in Trinidad and Tobago has reached a level that requires decisive and systemic intervention. It argued that while long-term solutions must address the root causes of criminal activity, several short-term actions can produce results in the immediate to medium term. On to some other news here. WASA is advising the public of temporary adjustments at Desalcott. WASA says since late February, Desalcott has detected higher than normal organic material in the seawater entering its plant. So to protect equipment and maintain drinking water quality, production was reduced on Monday. While officials stress there is no risk to public health as treated water continues to meet all safety standards, the authority confirms the matter is being investigated. The authority warns that communities served by the desalination plant may experience reduced supply until conditions stabilize. A call for greater volunteerism as United Way Trinidad and Tobago announced the TNT's 16th day of caring, which is set for April 26, 2026. The launch, which was overseen by Zaleha Hassan Ali, the widow of this country's second president Nur Hassan Ali, also saw a push for greater volunteerism for the public. While United Way has plans for 57 projects, while aiming for a larger volunteer turnout than last year's 1,500 participants. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back with sport news.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry, premier insurance coverage for less.
Welcome back in sport. The West Indies team is set to leave either tonight or tomorrow morning to return home from India after their participation in the ICC T20 Cricket World Cup. The International Cricket Council is working with each team to get them home safely as the political unrest in the Middle East have affected air travel in the region. West Indies exited the World Cup after their 5-wicket loss to India in their final Super 8 match last Sunday, but were unable to secure a flight home to do the unrest. And Trinidad and Tobago batter Brittany Cooper has called it time on her international career. The 36-year-old all-rounder who played 125 internationals for West Indies spanning 14 years wrote on her Instagram account, quote, "It has been the greatest honor of her life to represent the people of the Caribbean. Wearing those colors, standing for the anthem and competing for a region has meant more to me than words can fully express." Cooper averaged 16.42 from 149 one day and 11.1 from 75 T20s. Well, that's it for sport. It's back to a break.
At CTS College Private Secondary School, we understand that every student learns differently. This is why we provide them with the freedom to choose their ideal workload. With full-time and part-time classes delivered face-to-face and online, and dedicated teachers to help them reach their academic goals. We also provide regular updates to students and parents. Plus, we have affordable rates and flexible payment terms. Enroll today at CTS College.
It's getting hotter this summer on the new season of Celebrity Family Feud. Your favorite celebrities are coming to play. It's Ice-T, The Diesel, Charles Barkley, Chris Paul, everybody, Golden State point guard, Grey's Anatomy team, we got them right now. So let's get it on. Name something you do if your neighbor spend every day doing nude yoga in his backyard.
Invite friends over to watch.
Make sure you have yourself a great investment week by viewing The Boss Report every Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. during CNC3's The Morning Brew. You'll get sound financial advice, whether you're a new or experienced investor, when you view The Boss Report. CNC3, covering your world.
Now for the weather forecast, today is expected to be sunny and breezy, interrupted by a few cloudy intervals with showers. There's a chance of the isolated heavy afternoon shower. Winds may gust at times, particularly near showers. Seas are rough with waves between 2.5 meters and 3 meters in open waters, and between 1 and 1.5 meters occasionally choppy in sheltered areas. The forecast high is 31 degrees Celsius in Trinidad and 30 degrees Celsius in Tobago. Well, thank you so much for joining us for a look at the day's developments so far. We'll have these stories and so much more coming up for you in a major newscast at 7 p.m. today. Until then, have a great day.
You're watching CNC3.